everybody, Basilray, and today we're going to take a look at something that showed up in my mailbox just yesterday. I feel pretty well prepared to talk about it. Usually I'll run something for several days, but this is so similar to a couple of things that I've been using religiously that I feel pretty comfortable doing it. If you follow me around at all, you've probably seen me or heard me talking about how much I love this guy. This is the Kayfun 3.1. Here you can see the logo. This is legit, real deal, right? And this has quickly become pretty much my go-to favorite atomizer out there, period, hands down. I'll throw a link in the description if you want to see how I build it. I build all these exactly the same. So Kayfun 3.1, right? Then there is the clone, the Russian. So this is a direct clone of the 3.1. The slight difference here is the fill. We'll talk about that in kind of some final thoughts when we get a little closer to what we actually want to spend time talking about, which is what came in yesterday. That is the Kayfun Lite Plus, which is here. So if we were to take a look, we will see if I can get this to focus. Designed in Russia, made in Germany. So this is the Kayfun Lite. So it is 91% of the size, 9% smaller than the 3.1. A couple of other differences from the 3.1 or just the straight up Russian is that unlike the 3.1, this is designed to take a drip tip. So it does come with this Kayfun style drip tip. I do really like this drip tip. I generally use the default mouthpiece on the Russian or the Kayfun 3.1. Here's the problem that I have with this mouthpiece though, is that if you look here, look at how wobbly this is when it's in there. I mean, it stays in. I don't think it's going to fall out, but it's just super wobbly when it's in there. So generally I don't or haven't been using that mouthpiece, and I just grab a cheapo stainless steel drip tip like this. This fits in here. It does still have a little bit of a wiggle, just ever so slightly, but nowhere near as bad. Plus it's a little bit shorter. It gives it a pretty nifty look. So I build this exactly the same way that I build the Kayfun, exactly the same way that I would build the Russian. So regardless of which one I'm using, my build is always the same. I use hollow echo will, 2 millimeters. Sometimes I use Twick. I build them the same way regardless, about 6 wraps of 28 gauge. And in the way I build it comes right out to about 1.1 to 1.3 ohms. So the big difference here between this and your standard run-of-the-mill Kayfun Lite is located here under the cap. So if you look on this side, the logoed side, you have a really small adjustment screw. You do get one of these fancy keychain screwdrivers that comes with it, which is Phillips on one side, whoop, Phillips, and oh, that's flat. I know what I'm doing. I'm great with tools. And it's Phillips on the other side. So this is a super handy tool. I got one with the Russian as well. You're not going to want to lose this. You are going to need this for out and about. If you want to adjust your airflow, you simply raise or lower this screw. Farther out you pull it, the looser that draw is going to be. So you can just uncap it. Pretty straightforward screw. The biggest difference with this style design with the Lite or the Lite Plus is this bottom fill hole. This is, I'm not a fan. Really strongly dislike it because here's the thing. When you're out and about, do you really want to have to carry a mini screwdriver and go through this process? So check this out. Let me unscrew this, right? I'm out and about, I'm on the go, I'm at the office, I'm in my car, I'm at the bar, I'm at a restaurant. So I pull out that screw, then I can take my, oops, things that are falling off my desk. I can take a bottle of juice, fill it, right? Then I have to have not misplaced this tiny screw, drop it carefully back in, and screw it in. Yeah? So it's a lot of work to do something so simple. Now, the average person may not have a strong need to fill this. I, in a Kayfun or Kayfun 3.1, can easily cash out an entire tank's worth of liquid in a single day. So for me, this is really tough because I want to love this because I do love the design so much and the way it's built and put together. It's machined well. These style atomizers, I think, are about the best thing your money can buy. However, filling it this way totally sucks. You could, I suppose, try and cover this air intake hole on the base, take off the entire top cap and top fill, but it's designed so that you shouldn't have to, right? Overall, I think there is a solid value here. If you're the kind of person who's going to be vaping around 3 mils a day, this is perfect. You fill it up once a day, and you're good to go. The actual Kayfun 3.1 is also a bit of a pain to fill. You have to have the special little tip because of the ball bearing fill port. I've never had one. I didn't get one. I got this second hand, so I always top fill with this. Top filling is still much easier than having to undo this tiny screw on the go and fill it up. That is part of the reason why I think the Russian is honestly the best of both worlds here, simply because I can use a straight up needle bottle, pop it in here, and fill away. I'm not going to get any leaks as long as I make sure I get it in there all the way into the port. You can kind of feel it when it just gets to the base there. So in terms of ease of filling, I think the Russian is kind of the king of these three, which is unfortunate because this is the one that I have in my hands here that is not an actual, you know, like first market run of the device. The 3.1, like I said, I top fill 99% of the time. Makes it pretty easy. Sorry, I got some dry skin. It's wintertime. I should get some lotion out or something. So the drip tip, a little bit wobbly and wiggly, which is too bad because I do love this super tiny kind of chambered drip tip. I mean, it is super tiny, so it condenses everything down, you know, from the already small chamber that you're vaporizing liquid in here. This is, I think, a great buy when you consider the price of a Russian. You know, I've seen them going for around $90 to $95. So this was $115 shipped from Germany from InTaste, and I got it in 4 days, and it was really about the same price. So from that standpoint, I don't know why you would go with a clone when you can get the real deal for roughly the same price. I won't show you how to build this because, like I said, I build all three of these the same way. In the description, I'll toss a link to my build video. So if you haven't seen that, I'll show you how I build it. That particular video is using Twic. Let me take a couple of puffs and give you some final thoughts. So the Kayfun Lite Plus, like I said, it ran me around $110 to my door. Super solid price for something that, you know, the clone is not that much cheaper unless you're finding it in group guys and co-ops. Have it here on the Opus D set to 13.1 watts. I run all of these at 1.1 to 1.3 ohms is where my build method comes out to time after time. I run them all at 13 to 13.5 watts depending on the liquid. So this is Halo Torque. It's about a 70 PG, 30 VG. Vape's great. The flavor that gets produced off any of these style of atomizers is going to be top notch. Just a really smooth, satisfying vape. The one thing, you know, you get a little bit of that whistly draw. You can adjust your airflow. That part is easy enough to do. Grab your little screwdriver, you flip it in down here. Why didn't I show this in the uppy closey, as Nick would call them? I don't know, because it's pretty simple. Screw in, screw out. So vape's great. You can adjust that draw, which is just such a killer feature, I think. I don't know how people manage with the regular Kayfun Lite, simply because that is worth its price of admission. You can really fine-tune it in to the way you like to vape. It gives you that extra layer of customization. So for me, you're not going to go wrong with the Russian or the Kayfun. You're not going to go wrong with the Kayfun Lite Plus. Again, it is a little bit smaller. You can see here just side by side. It, you know, it's not quite half an inch shorter. So this is a bit more pocket friendly. It's certainly more budget friendly than the original. It's going to run you on par price point wise from what I've seen with the Russian and the Russian 91%. So it's hard to lose with this. You support the actual guys that gave you the design. You got all those good things about it. I think it's a solid buy. This style of atomizer has become my favorite. I prefer it. I've got a Juggernaut. I prefer it to the Juggernaut. I like the Juggernaut a lot. Don't get me wrong. You know, just your standard run-of-the-mill, you know, cheap Genesis to a dripping atomizer like the Nimbus to something quite a bit more customizable like the Romulus. This, for me, 90% of my vaping and 100% when I'm out and about is a Kayfun style atomizer on a DNA mod, either the Opus D or the Mamu Max. Either way, I'm rocking it at a consistent 13 to 13.5 watts, and I'm loving life. So that's what I've got. Just put up a new video last night about a couple of tricks if you're working on a tighter budget to get you a more high-end style vape. I got some more videos coming out here in the near future, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Please, I end every video this way. Take care. We'll catch you later.